Good day, Broto Planet listeners. This is Eric Peterson, quarantining from Salt Lake City, and today I have the honor to be joined by Jonah Weingarten of Pyramaze. How are you today, Jonah?
Wonderful, thank you.
Good. And where are you quarantining from today, or are you quarantining?
St. Paul, Minnesota. I don't know. I suppose my life now isn't that different than it was before, which is mostly just being at home or being in the studio and whatnot. So.
Oh, okay. So you haven't changed much for you.
No, not that much.
Okay. So the new album Epitaph is set to release on Friday. How's the reception been from the album overall?
It's been incredible, honestly. The reviews that have been coming in have all been A+ range. People saying contender for album of the year, and then it's our best album ever, even better than Legend of the Bone Carver. So,
nice,
yeah.
Nice. I mean, for me, it's definitely one of my top 10 albums of the year. I love it. But I loved your guys' last album. I love Contingent. That was a great album too. So, and in fact,
thank you.
You guys have released 3 singles ahead of the release. And what's the fans' response been to those singles?
It's been overly positive. Couple cries of sell out or whatever. One dude said we were social justice warriors now or something like that. But,
really?
They obviously don't know us, but yeah, it's been really good. I feel like the 3 singles that we've released already have been very different from each other and very diverse, and I think that's really exemplary of the entire album as a whole, because every song is really standalone and different, and the whole album is very diverse.
Yes, it is. But your last album, Contingent, was considered kind of it was considered maybe a concept album. Do you guys consider it that?
We don't call it a concept album. We consider it more conceptual in nature.
All right.
Because it's not a fluid story of any kind, but there's sort of like kind of an overarching theme. Or themes that are happening. So
this album, would you consider it more of conceptual nature, or just more along the lines of a regular album, I should say?
Yeah, this would be more of a regular album.
Okay.
It's not conceptual. There's no concept. Every song is standalone.
So the last album was very heavy, like we were talking about, and it had very much, the themes were somewhat, they weren't doom and gloom, but it gave you a chance to think of hope and inspiration for the future. But Epitaph is a little different than that in that way, but it still tackles some heavy subjects. What drives your guys' inspiration when you guys sit down and write an album?
We just want to make really great music that will stand the test of time. No one in the band are lyricists, so we bring in Henrik from Anubis Gate, and a fellow by the name of Christoph Stierna, who's the singer for a band called Hero. They're a Danish rock band. And they both helped us out with the album this time around as far as lyrics and everything. So
nice. And so how was the recording for this album compared to your last albums as far as actual recording?
It went about the same way. Jacob's got his studio in Denmark. I got my studio here. So I wrote 6 tracks this time around for the Epitaph album. And the way I do that is I just do all the keyboards for the songs first, and then they add the guitars and drums after the fact. And then vice versa. When they write songs over there, they do guitars and drums first and send them my way, and I add the keyboards afterwards. So I think that approach also really helps the diversity of the album and to keep it fresh from start to finish.
Yeah. So one of the songs that's really relevant on the album is one of the singles you released is called World Forgone. And lyrically that song is very heavy, but it still gives you a sense that we can change our ways and save ourselves. What was the inspiration behind that song?
Well, the music came first, and I just wanted that song to be really powerful and melodic. So I did the orchestration first on that one. That was one of the songs I wrote. And then as far as the lyrical content goes, they came up with sort of the concept of, the world, it's not too late to save the planet and to save humanity. And, everyone in the band has children, so we want to leave a nice planet for our children in the future,
Yeah, yeah. And then the video for that song is amazing. Where was it filmed?
Mostly in Norway,
Okay.
Up on top of this one mountain that's surrounded by fjords. That's over in Terje's neck of the woods there.
Yeah, it's funny because there's actually, if you guys watch that video as you're listening to this, there's a actually making of video that's really cool where he takes you back on a tour of that, and it's really windy and it's raining, and it's kind of interesting to see the same place in a totally different setting when the weather's completely different.
Right, yeah. It was so windy that he lost his hat, he said.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Funny. The fans don't really usually get a dose of Terje's personality, but he really is a funny guy. He's very introverted most of the time, but sometimes he'll come out of his shell and really let loose there. So
yeah. And then another song that I really enjoyed was the Transcendence, and that when you recruited the lyrics or the vocals for with Brittany from Unleash the Archers. How did that collaboration come about?
Yeah, I'm glad you like that track. It's one of my favorites on the album, and definitely one of my favorite Pyramaze songs ever. So Jacob produced and mixed the two most recent Unleash the Archers albums. So he was connected to Brittany and Unleash the Archers that way, and then I've just been friends with a few of the guys and the gal in the band for a bunch of years now. We were having dinner with Unleash the Archers a couple years ago before one of their shows. Myself and my girlfriend were in South Dakota, and I mentioned to Brittany that it'd be cool to collaborate on a song sometime in the future. So that also kind of planted the seed. And
nice.
Then, one thing led to the other. And in the past, when we've had a female guest vocalist, it's been on ballads. Mm-hmm. So it's cool when you have a singer like Brittany to really let her loose on one of our more driving anthemic songs like Transcendence, And she has so much range and so much power in any range that it was very easy to work around, the melodies and have her do a bunch of higher harmonies and lower harmonies and whatever. But I'm very proud of that song. That was a song that I wrote, and it means a lot to me, especially to have Brittany sing on it.
Nice. And then probably one of the most epic songs on the album, of course, is the Time Traveler. It's like a 12-minute song that features a lot of pace changes, tempo changes, and it features two of your former singers on it, correct?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Matt Barlow and Lance King.
And this is a great tribute to the past of you guys, but recognizes the band is still moving forward.
Right. Yeah, and actually the story and the lyrics and the vocal melodies for that song were written by Michael Kammerer, who was the founder of Pyramaze, and he was with us for our first 3 albums. So Michael wrote, Melancholy Beast, Legend of the Bone Carver, and Immortal. So we really wanted to go full circle with that and include all these important figures from our history.
And it really turned out amazing because you could each person's vocals fit in perfectly in the range of the song, just perfectly for them.
Yeah. It was a big and very ambitious project, that one song, and I'm glad it came together so nicely.
Yes, it did come together nicely. Do you have for the new album? Do you guys have any songs that have special meaning just to you?
The Time Traveler for sure.
Yeah.
The album intro, Epitaph, was a piece that I composed, and you can really, all my main film composer influences are very in the forefront of that. Thomas Newman, Hans Zimmer, Alan Silvestri, you can hear all of that in there. And yeah, so that's something that was special for me, of course.
Nice. And for the release of the album, do you guys have any, like, I know some bands are doing like special vinyls. Do you guys have any special stuff that's coming out, or is it you just doing a digital release?
No, yeah, there is vinyl that AFM's putting out, and it looks like some people already have their hands on it, which is great.
Nice.
Yeah. So every Pyramaze record except for our first one is out on vinyl.
Oh, okay.
At this time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you listened to any of them on vinyl?
Have I listened to any of what?
Any of the albums on vinyl, your guys' stuff?
Oh, no, actually, it's funny enough, I've never actually heard the vinyl of any of our stuff, but I have it all hanging on my wall.
Nice. So my next question for you is, what does the future of Pyramaze look like? I mean, in a perfect world, we get a vaccine for this virus and things return to normal. What would be on the horizon for you guys?
It looks like the FDA is about to approve a vaccine from Pfizer here in a couple of weeks, which is really great news. I don't know if you heard that. But,
yeah, I did.
And then there's another one, Moderna, coming after that. So there's light at the end of this tunnel, and so maybe we'll finally get to reschedule our Norwegian tour that we've already rescheduled twice this year. We don't have that. We don't have it on the books yet, again, because we're not. It's silly to keep rebooking it if we don't know what's going on in the world. So there's that. We're going to play some like 3 shows in Norway, and then maybe do some festivals and some one-offs and whatnot.
How often have you guys played in the U.S.?
Only a few times. We played Proud Power USA twice, and then we played. I think it was called like the Mayhem Festival or something in Minneapolis, Minnesota, that was our first show in the U.S. ever, and our first show ever in general.
Really? Okay.
Which we played with Suffocation and Morbid Angel of all.
Yeah.
And there was a few power metal bands and stuff like that too. But.
So my last question for you is, I would like you to tell me a Pyramaze song by title or by content that best describes the state of the world as we know it today.
That would be so. It can be any song from any of our albums.
Yep.
That would be a World Divided from Contingent. I'm sure you saw that answer coming.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Actually.
We're in a sad state of affairs right now, but I think we'll get through it. So
yeah. Well, Jonah, I appreciate your time, and like I said, this is probably one of my top 10 albums of the year. It's a great album, and you guys just nailed it. And
I really appreciate that.
And the album drops on this Friday, the 13th, and I encourage everybody to go pick up a copy of it.
Yeah, thank you. If I had known it was coming out on Friday the 13th, we would have asked Jason Voorhees to do a guest appearance.
You should have. I mean, you still have time. You can have him holding the album and promote it for you.
Yeah, and like someone's severed head or something.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, I appreciate it, Jonah, and it's been amazing. And you have a good afternoon. And I hopefully look forward to seeing you guys in the United States touring.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and maybe someday that'd be great.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you.